Yo, so basically I wanted to try out something new where I basically yap, and you can either decide to listen to what I have to say, or tell me to fuck off and click off the video. Totally your call. For those of you who decided to stick around, in case the video's title didn't make it completely obvious, I will be discussing the topic of artificial intelligence, AI, humanity 2.0, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's what I'm talking about today, and all of my personal thoughts about it. There will be quite a few opinionated statements in this video, so take everything that I say with a grain of salt. And I mean pretty much everything. Nothing that is stated in this video should be interpreted as a certain fact, and if you don't like that, I'm really, really sorry, alright? Like, I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. But it's my video, so, yeah. Anyway, now that I've explained what's gonna happen, let's get on with it, shall we? This video's contents will be broken up into 3 main categories. First, AI chat models. Second, AI image and video generation. And third, my thoughts for the future. Let's get on with it. First off, AI chat models. I'm talking stuff like ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. Stuff that you can ask a random ass question and get an answer based off of whatever source material it has available to pull from the wide web. Even in just the last 5 years or so since this resource has become available to the public, it has developed at an absolutely staggering rate. So much so, now that when you search just about anything, the first result that you will see at the top will be an AI-based result. And this result could either give you the answer that you're looking for, which, you know, it's typically the case, or it could give you something that partially answers your question, but might be missing some certain key details, which could really bite you in the ass, especially if this absent information is essential to whatever it is that you're trying to find. This is why I personally do my best to steer my attention away from these AI results that are unfortunately force-fed to you, whether you like it or not. Though sometimes helpful, I avoid them unless whatever I search is incredibly simple. So simple, in fact, that it like literally could not give me the wrong answer. For example, something like, what color is an orange? I mean, it's fucking orange. It's literally in the name. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what's the point of making light of this? Well, consider this. Just a few years ago, AI chat models were nothing more than basically just toys. Things that you would experiment with to see what goofy or often non-relevant strings of text it would spew out at you. And in the past few years, though I hate to admit it, it has become a resource that, in case of emergency, when all else fails, you can fall back on to theoretically get an answer you wouldn't have been able to discover on your own. And as much as I hate to admit it, that's pretty damn cool. Next, I'm going to talk about what I think is the worst fucking thing that has come out of AI's rapid development, which is the use of AI for the generation of things like images and videos. In other words, artificial media, which I will refer to as AM for short from now on. Before we get on with this segment though, I am going to generate a few images using an AM tool of popular, relatively recognizable characters, and in a CAPTCHA 6 image format lay them side by side with images that I found using my browser. And I'm curious to see if everyone will be able to distinguish all of them as either AI generated or not correctly. I will not be providing the answers either, so who knows, maybe I'll check out this video again in the future and I won't even know which ones are which. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to play Spot the Bot. Place all of your answers in the comments section and let's get fucking going. I have organized these from what I believe to be the easiest to what I believe to be the hardest. Starting off, we have Goku. Pause the video if you find it needed and place your answers. And with that, we're moving on to the second one, which is Pikachu. Once again, pause the video if needed. Next is Mario. Once again, pause the video if needed. And finally, Iron Man. Place all of your answers in the comments section below. And now that we have concluded this Spot the Bot segment, let's get on with our regularly scheduled program. Why did I do this, you may ask? Well, even if you were able to distinguish the AI-generated images from the real deal, it doesn't change the fact that if those pictures even made you think for a second, I've successfully proven my point. We have successfully managed to create a technology where if even only for a second, it will make you wonder who, or well, what, drew it. But it's the who that matters. That's the key word there. There are hardworking artists out there who, as time goes on, struggle more and more to compete with these big businesses that have created tools that are capable of creating something in 15 to 20 seconds, sometimes less, that might take them 1, 2, 3 hours, maybe even more. And the worst part is, these image generation tools are often free. All of the images from my CAPTCHA segment were made using a free image generation tool. And though I am not an artist, I for one think it is so fucked up that anyone and everyone can just have an idea and make it come to fruition with little to no time, money, or effort. And unless this individual was in need of an incredibly high quality job to be fulfilled, they would have no need whatsoever to pay an artist to do it. This just makes this talented person's life harder. And I think this shit is so fucking awful. And to make matters worse, these image generation tools use the work of real living and breathing artists to create their outputs, making these hard-working individuals' efforts feel even more in vain as time goes on. Because the sad reality of it all is, considering 2 or 3 years ago, images generated by AI were almost instantly identifiable. And now, depending on the amount of resources available for a given prompt to be created, it can make something that would make you second guess if it was drawn by a real person or not. This technology is only going to improve as time goes on. So sooner or later, the general populace who needs to commission art for whatever reason they may need to commission art for might think twice about paying someone for it because, well, why would they? If they can have an AI do it in literal seconds. I, for one, think it is so fucked up, but it's a future that is not guaranteed, but it is very plausible. On a similar note, AI video generation, which I'm not super familiar with, and as of making this video, it is still quite primitive and pretty easily distinguishable from a video made by a real person or people. But it has made leaps and bounds from just a few years ago with that infamous video of, Will Smith eating spaghetti. Or, I mean, if that's what you want to call it. But to touch briefly on it, I think there is a reality when this technology is perfected, it will be used for some really fucking bad shit, like defamation and things of similar nature, considering the fact that you would be able to generate a video of anyone doing just about anything. And I think this is something that too many people have glossed over when talking about possible applications of AI video generation, especially going forward. But, this is only speculation. Who knows when it'll reach a point where it'll be convincing enough to get people into hot water? Well, only time will tell, I suppose. Finally, I want to touch a bit upon what I think the future of artificial intelligence holds, and more or less speculate on, the possible uses in the future, both good and bad. I think in the coming years, AI chat models will become advanced enough where machine learning will advance beyond the need for human input, if it hasn't already happened. I wouldn't even really be surprised, but as far as I know, at the time of making this video, there is no solid evidence of this being something that already exists. I think it could be both a good thing and a really fucking bad thing. Good in the sense that it could potentially lead to breakthroughs in various fields that humans, for whatever reason, haven't been able to achieve. That being said, shit could go tits up real fucking quick if these chat models were given physical being through robotics or otherwise, and gain sentience, deciding, humanity isn't quite necessary. We live in a time where this shit is still pretty new. Development on artificial intelligence is still in full swing, and motherfuckers are just getting started with it. The future looks really bright or really dark, depending on what way the pioneers of this field decide to steer this potentially world as we know it ending ship. But that's just speculation. Who knows what the future will bring? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, huh?